Welcome to today's session and thanks for joining. In these live sessions, I demonstrate a technique for swing trading profitably in any market condition by taking only high probability and low risk 360 degrees trades. Here are a few images from my life in a village in Thailand. These images are available on my website superiorprofit.co on the images page. Greetings, I am Sagar Nandi, active trader in multiple markets. Disclaimer, this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. Options trading can be risky. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from OCC to decide if options trading is suitable for you. Q runs on Metastock and TradeStation platforms. I use only Q for my trading system. Let's start with instruments that often move the market. Dollar Index ETF UUP. For a long time I was expecting it to go up, make a higher low and go up from here. It did not do that. UUP instead made a false downside breakout and now it is moving inside a range. When it is inside a range in daily like that and it is more or less in the middle of the range, I wait for it to break to the upside or downside before deciding preferred trading direction. It is near the mid of the range but above many of the direction lines, so it is slightly bullish while being inside the range, but there is no way to trade a move like that. What would instead be more interesting for trading purposes is if it comes to the trend line support and reverses up from there, then that will be a bullish sign that will give a low risk buying opportunity. Or if it goes to the resistance, tilts down from there, then it may give a low risk shorting opportunity. Those are two ways of waiting for the trade setup, and the other two ways I already mentioned, that will be breakout either to the upside or downside. So we may wait for either of those four instances. And to show how sideways it is, let's look at UUP using the weekly interval. That is also moving inside a very narrow range for a long time. There is no direction at all, and as a trading decision I would like to stand aside from an instrument like that as far as trading is concerned. The other instrument that I study regularly that has huge impact on the market, that is the Megacap Custom Index. Megacap Custom Index is showing something interesting. Earlier, megacaps were driving the market higher. Here, we can see the relative performance was sharply tilting up. Then relative performance zigzag between down, up, and now for last 2 weeks, it is tilting down. In daily, we can see it is tilting down quite sharply, showing it is severely underperforming the market. Underperforming the market, however, that does not mean it is in a downtrend. It is still having higher high, higher low. It is not in a downtrend. It also has trendline support nearby. Unless the trendline support is broken, it will be difficult to short the mega caps. Even the underperforming instrument, mega cap custom index, is still in an uptrend, and it is not possible to short because of trendline support. And this trendline support theme is one that I am continuing with for several market recaps. I think this is the fourth week. Last week I did not have the market recap. Even in the two market recaps prior to that, I talked about the trendline supports, and because of them, it was difficult to short. We'll have the same theme this week as well. Q market breadth. Now let's look at internal health check. Usually the market follows the internal health, not the other way around. And the internal health looks all right. I already posted the breadth charts on my Twitter handle, Superior Profit. To save time, let's look at that. Total view, the broadest view of the market. Percentage of stocks above 50-day moving average. It was tilting down for several days, but for the last few days it tilted up. The 3-month new high low is also tilting up. Neither of them are extremely overbought, so internal health improved. Candle chart was of course steadily going up, higher high, higher low. Internal health was deteriorating, but now that has also improved. We do of course see an irrational exuberance, Bango signal, thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward who designed it. May him rest in peace. That is a concern. But it is bullish. There is no bearishness on this chart, internal health wise also. If we go from total view, the broadest view, to Nasdaq and NYSE composite, the same thing, internal health actually improved. And we can now see the irrational exuberance came in NYSE. If you look carefully, Nasdaq composite actually closed down on Friday, but that is just one day. The candle charts for both Nasdaq and NYSE are in solid uptrends. If we further drill down to the major market pockets, small cap, mid cap, large cap, and Nasdaq 100, that is most influenced by mega caps, again the internals improved a little bit in the last few days, except for Nasdaq 100, because on Friday mega cap came down. Mega caps are underperformed in general, and Nasdaq 100, Nasdaq composite both tilted down on Friday. But otherwise, the internal health improved for the other pockets. They were deteriorating for a long time. We can see the same improvement happening in 3-month new high low as well. So internal breadth improved. That's good for the bulls. And if we look at the total view using weekly daily, this is the common theme for last 3-4 weeks. There are so many trendline supports that it will be difficult for market to break through all of them suddenly. And unless those trendline supports are broken, it will be difficult to short. It is overbought. The total view at a glance chart is showing that in terms of stretch indicator, it has bearish indecision cluster. That is also a cautionary signal, but there is no way to short because of the trend line supports. Market is bullish, overbought. There are cautionary signals, but shorting not possible. Market's external view, this is how most people around the globe see the market. SPY this week made a new all-time high, has trendline support, overbought but not possible to short because of trendline support. If these trendline supports are broken, which is not likely going to be easy, then we may consider shorting, but not now. The same thing will be true for all the market ETFs. QQQ has something different, slightly different. It had a bearish headwind in the weekly last week, and on Friday it has a bearish headwind in daily. If this nearby trendline support is broken, then the next support is far away. That will allow us to short QQQ constituents, and QQQ is most influenced by mega caps, which is underperforming. That is something to keep an eye on. QQQ will allow shorting before SPY if if they fall. If, that is a big if. DIA also made a new all-time high this week. Here the trendline supports are there, too close to each other, will not be able to short DIA anytime soon. IWM made a new all-time high this week, though I think on a closing basis also, yes, on a closing basis also made a new all-time high this week. So all the four market ETFs made a new all-time high. Here the trend line supports are so close that it will not be easy to short them, short IWM anytime soon. So only one that may give shorting opportunity, may give more easily than others at the market level is QQQ, because if the first trend line support is broken, the next one is far away. But as of Friday's close, market is looking overbought, either in terms of stretch band indicator or price being at or above upper boundary lines, but there is no way to short any of the market ETFs. Bucket analysis is part of QH, pinpoints reversal points with remarkable accuracy thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Scott. After watching whose videos, I incorporated it in Q systems, made it 100% real time. It also has sector industry stock breadth. It shows where the market came from, where it is now, and where it may go next. Bucket analysis, 52% of S&P 1500 stocks are above mid Bollinger Band. That is slightly bullish. You may say it is neutral overall. One day ago, it was slightly bearish on Thursday, and after Friday's close, it became slightly bullish. From slightly bearish, it becomes slightly bullish. More or less balanced in terms of the histogram, neither overbought nor oversold. No signal from bucket analysis. Sector industry stock breadth, longer term 1 month period is bullish, 10-day period is also bullish, 5-day is also bullish. Let me make sure it is updated. Updated, right? Yes, updated. So sector industry stock breadth has become bullish across all the periods from 1 month to 1 day. So internal breadth improved as I mentioned while looking at the breadth charts also. It is bullish but not too overbought, doesn't allow shorting. It has been bullish for quite some time, so may be cautious about buying, but no shorting allowed. Technical breadth, we only profit by buying stocks going up or shorting stocks coming down. Technical breadth shows the overall posture to adopt and allows easy drill down to find low risk trade setups. Weekly technical breadth, bullish across all the categories. And daily technical breadth, overall still bullish. There is nothing here that shows that we may be able to short from the market level. From the market level analysis. Market level summary then, the most important trading decision is whether and where to buy or short or whether to stand aside. I'll prefer to buy in this market because the internal health which was deteriorating for a while, it improved and the market is also going up and it is not overbought from any angle, neither from bucket analysis nor from breadth charts. Therefore, I will prefer to buy, but I'll be cautious because it's probably due for a pullback. But unless the pullback happens, there is no business trying to short. I'll prefer to buy, but cautiously. Review of last week's trade ideas. I did not have the market recap last week. I did share only one buying idea in the market recap before that. That was HMY. I shared the idea on this day and the stock has nicely gone up. I think this move would have been between 9 to 10% up, and when it hit the previous all-time high around that time I suggested that at least partial profit could be booked. So again, the only one trade idea that I shared in my last market recap, not last week but the week prior to that, also hit the profit target. That was a 360 degrees trade ideas. This week's trade ideas, I mentioned on Twitter that I would like to describe how insider trading can be identified potentially on Q charts and also on the Q fundamental scorecard and used to make trading choices, buying choices. And I'll demonstrate that with two stocks today. One is Texas Roadhouse. This is TXRH, Texas Roadhouse. If you look at daily, it is steadily coming down over longer period, but near to the right edge of the chart, it has broken above a trendline resistance. Why this stock caught my attention was because it came to jump thrust low, price extreme low, and then somebody stepped in and bought a lot. Came a big move up signal. Usually people who step in to buy when price is falling sharply at a very low price level, usually they know something more about the stock than I do. Kind of insider information are very good analysts. Usually these are bigger players, not smaller players like me. I or traders like me will not be able to cause a big move up at price extreme low, jump thrust low. But when the big move up happened, price was already too far above the recent swing low. I would not like to buy. Then stock made a shallow pullback, created a higher low and went up, broke the trend line resistance. Now some people do not like to buy stocks in a downtrend, and that's where sometimes the weekly chart comes of great use. In the daily it is moving in a downtrend, but if we look at the weekly, daily in a downtrend, but weekly is actually inside a box, sideways range, and it is just starting to go up from a triple bottom. That is a point where I would like to buy. So that way Texas Roadhouse is allowing me to buy. But this is not my buy candidate today. I'm using this analysis to demonstrate how I look at stocks, and let's look at its fundamental scorecard, Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse, a restaurants industry stock. Majority of peer stocks went up on Friday, though not a lot, so probably it will not be one of the strongest industries. I see that both and revenue, earnings growth, revenue growth improved. Not very high, but improved. Valuation is in the middle, and insiders are also in the middle. It is a profitable company, no issue buying a stock like that. Has a small dividend yield. If I look at its industry score, I don't expect the industry to be one of the strongest. Certainly, it is not one of the strongest, but it was much weaker earlier, starting to improve. I don't mind buying in an industry like that. Earlier, it was down by large percentage points across multiple periods from month 4 to month 1, and from 10-day, 5-day, 2-day, 1-day, it is going up. So it is not one of the best performers, but it is a turnaround candidate. I don't mind buying into such industry. So restaurants industry, I'm okay to buy. So that was one possible candidate, but that is not my buy setup. Buy setup is another stock, and let me contrast Texas Roadhouse with the other stock. Please keep the insider buying parameter in mind. And we also saw the big move up at price extreme low, jump thrust low. That is also showing some kind of insider buying. But let's look at another stock now. CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill. Also a restaurant stock, so the same industry strength is there. Earnings growth is actually negative, but not very large negative. Valuation is also not good. But what is superior here is insiders are buying more aggressively. And Chipotle Mexican Grill is also a profitable company. Turnaround industry, so I don't mind buying into the industry. The question is for me whether to buy Texas Roadhouse or Chipotle Mexican Grill. CMG also does not have any dividend, but I am looking at the insider buying much more aggressively. It has robust earnings quality, and then I am looking at the charts. Let's look at the charts. I came to Q Global or Metastock because I would like to show you something that is available more clearly, more visually on the Q Global charts. And especially on this multi-chart layout which shows direction force and momentum count. CMG also came to jump thrust low, price extreme low. Then on Thursday, not on Friday, but on Thursday, it gave big move up signal. Weekly went up and closed with a very bullish shape, bullish color candle, and on top of that, it had a bullish reversal also at jump thrust low in weekly. That is extremely oversold. Then reversal candle in weekly and daily went up with big move up on Thursday. If we look at the direction force on Thursday, it had 4 direction forces, bullish directional forces. If we look at the momentum chart, it had 4 bullish momentum on Thursday, and that was the buying day. And I used these signals along with the insider buying status to take a long position on CMG on Thursday. And that is how I sometimes use the insider buying in Q Vital scorecard, combine it with big move up. Incidentally, it had big move up again on Friday, good for me. But the buy signal came on Thursday itself. Let's look at the direction forces that came on Thursday. Use the commentary feature. On Thursday, the directional forces were big move up, bullish fan out, bullish flow, and bullish pressure. And in terms of momentum signals, we had 4 bullish momentum signals on Thursday. Again, Thursday momentum signal. 4 were Bongo, Kahuna, Mobo breakout, PSA reversal. So 4 directional forces and 4 momentum signals bullish on Thursday that also came with a possible flow setup on that day. And here is a case that demonstrates the complexity of the flow calculation. Flow setup is a setup that is associated usually mostly with uptrends, but it is a complex signal that sometimes tries to calculate if it is about to change from downtrend to uptrend. And Thursday was a very special case of flow like that, where it was still in a downtrend, but it was trying to estimate that is it going to be in an uptrend soon. So it gave a flow long setup on Thursday. I took a long position using stock and also short put, naked short put. Why naked short put also? I'll come to that. I already booked at least partial profit in the stock position. Let's look at CMG with another chart template, the resistance support chart template that has the volume at price plot here. In the entire screen length, we have 2 huge peaks. One is around 50 price point and one is right at the very bottom, from where we had this huge momentum move and directional force move. Looking at that, I thought it will be difficult, not impossible, but difficult for CMG to go much below this price level. That's why I took a short put position and also a long stock position. Of course, short put profit is limited to the premium. That's why I bought some stock also. But the stock I can come out quickly if it reverses. Short put I plan to hold longer term. And you could get a nice premium depending on how long expiry you are willing to go. You were willing to go on CMG. I was willing to go little bit longer period and hold the short put a little bit longer than typical swing trades. So that was my pick for the current week. The signal came on Thursday, not Friday. CMG, a turnaround industry, a stock that is reversing from a very low price level with heavy insider buying. If you carry out the 360 degrees analysis using Q like that, you will most likely find other trading candidates today just as you would almost every other day. Thanks a lot for joining. I look forward to seeing you in my next session, most likely next week. Have a great weekend. And as I always say, as these live examples I am quite confident shows, there is no reason not to do that. Trade profitably. Thank you.